Hello everyone, welcome to the fourth video in the AZ700 series of labs, which is that certification is geared towards networking. And in this one, what we would like to do, we would like to connect two Azure Virtual Network that are deployed in two different regions, and we will enable the network peering so they can talk to each other. So I'm gonna give you all the links for this particular lab on the GitHub, so you can go there. But what I'll do, I'll go to the exercises real quick. I'm gonna go. So this is the one we're gonna actually do. This is the third one. We're gonna go to the first one to look at the architecture diagram one more time. And to the right, what you have, say if you're following along, uh, Network Watcher is something that already gets created whenever you deploy a virtual network in Azure. So what you can do, so you can go to Network Watcher anytime, just search for Network Watcher. Okay, you can go there, and the topology is a really good thing. And we are deploying everything under one resource group. I'm just calling that AZ700RG. And here we go. You don't have to, you can select these three virtual network that we have deployed here. It's saying, hey, select the core services, then it will give you the details of the core. If you don't select any of that, okay, so it should just give you everything. Okay, so let me go back in here, go back in there again. So now this one, uh, if you just select down to the resource group, it will give you all the subnet or the virtual network and the subnet inside them. So let's review what we have done. So we have created this subnet, we have created this VNet, created this VNet, and created this VNet. Okay, within the VNets we also created all the subnets. Okay, but we have not done this peering. Okay, so let's look at our network topology now. So I'm here again, network watcher, in that particular resource group. If I make it a little bit big, so what you're seeing here, we have a core services VNet. Okay, then research VNet and manufacturing VNet. The core service VNet got 4 subnets. Okay, the research VNet got 1 and the manufacturing got 4. Now in the last video what we have done, we have also deployed a private DNS zone within the particular resource group, and we have deployed two different virtual machines in within the database subnet. Okay, in that database subnet, since they're both in the same virtual network and moreover in the same subnet, we have verified that we have connectivity between these two machines. Okay, and since we had our private DNS enabled, you can also talk from the VM1 to VM2 directly using our hostname, fully qualified domain name. Now what is gonna happen now, if you deploy any other virtual machine in any of these subnets that are not in this larger VNet, okay, they will not be able to talk to each other. So every VNet, unless they're connected somehow, and one way would be the peering, they cannot directly talk to each other. So VNet itself creates a security boundary. So with that background, let's come back over here. So we have the framework, we have couple machines within this database subnet, but we have nothing else deployed. So we have no peering. So let's go back in here. So in this one, we have few tasks. The first, create a virtual machine to test the configuration. So what we are doing now in this particular lab, they are using Contoso resource group, and this is really I'm using AC700RG. Okay, that is the only change that I have done so far. So let's create a new virtual machine. So what I'll do, I'll just go to the resource group itself. That's where a lot of times I start and hit create. And we're going to create a virtual machine. I'm just going to select the Windows 2019 data center. Okay, at least that will give me, and I'll make sure that I'm still in the resource group that I'm using. The virtual machine name, let's put it there. Make sure that you are doing it correctly. So this time we're going to go and deploy in the West Europe. Okay, West Europe. Oh, this is free services available. Okay, let's go there. Yeah, so that is the one that I'm going to choose. Availability zone, we're not choosing anything. Image, we're going to change. Okay, so security type, that's interesting thing. That's definitely a new thing. So the basic level of security, trusted launch of virtual machine, protecting a persistent advanced attack on Gen 2 virtual machine. This is completely new. I have to do some further research on that one. And that's the beauty of cloud, that they keep adding more and more and more features. Okay. Over here, size, I'm gonna keep it the way it is, D2S V3. Okay, 8 gigs. Okay, let's username, change that to test user. And here, let's use a very secure password. Okay, we have done that. We're gonna keep the RDP port open. Now this one we're gonna put it under the manufacturing VNet. So just disk, you don't have to do anything, just go to the networking. Here, since we have selected our West Europe, it automatically picked up that one. Okay, so it knows that this is the only virtual network that is deployed in West Europe. So it's already selected that one. Now let's see which subnet you want. You want to put the manufacturing system subnet. Typically it picks up the first one, but you can select other one if you like. But for our work, we're gonna stick to this particular subnet. IP, go with the default. NIC, go with the basic, and then public inbound, allow, and 3389. That's for the RDP connection, and nothing else is really required. Okay, so and tag, nothing is required. So now we're gonna create the virtual machine and RDP. Okay, so the validation is successful. I'm going to create the RDP. What I want to do once the machine is created, I want to uh, deploy this machine to this particular uh, machine using RDP, and then from here we would like to connect to the other VNet. And since I don't have any peering yet, it should not be able to talk to each other. So we'll see. So let's just get it done. We need to start. I usually turn off the virtual machine if it's not running to save some money. So before we do the testing, we have to turn them up as well. So now this virtual machine is all done. So let's go to the virtual machine, and it's saying that next is the connect to the test virtual machine. So again, you can quickly look at where it got deployed, region, make sure all that looks good. And also you go to the networking to make sure that it is actually the network interface. It's in that particular subnet, manufacturing VNet, under that manufacturing system subnet. That's where it's got deployed. And this is its private IP address. Okay, and that is what you need to try to ping from the other virtual machine, which we deployed in the core services network. All right. So now the easiest way to get to the virtual machine download, you can just hit connect and RDP, and then you download the RDP file. Or a lot of time what I'll do, I'll just go there, okay, and just get the IP address of the machine. Okay, this is the IP address. Change the IP address of the machine, and let's see, and username. What is that? I have test user, something like that. Yeah, test user is the user. So let's just put in there and try to connect. So now you're really trying to connect over the internet, and there we go. So now accept the certificate, and you should be connected to this virtual machine. While this is all going on, let's what I'll do, I'll go back home, go to virtual machine, and the other two virtual machine we deployed in the East US uh, within the database subnet. I'm going to turn on one of them. So a lot you can do, you can select the virtual machine, okay, and click on the start to start one of them. So let's start the test VM1. Okay, so that's is getting started. And for that one, once it's started, we'll go there uh, and we'll pick up the IP address again. Okay, and it said, okay, to connect to the test VM using RDP. And here what they're doing, so we have connect to the test VM, and once we are done on the Azure portal page, select virtual machine, select the test VM1. On the test VM1 you're still doing the same thing. So, and we are going to do the same thing here as well. So what I'll do, I'll open up another RDP connection over here. I'm going to provide this, and again it is going to be a test user, and connect, provide the password. Okay, so now I should be connected. So this machine that I have here, this should be the test VM1, and the other one that I have to the right, let's see if I can bring that one up. Okay, this one should be our manufacturing VNet. Okay, so let's just open up our CMD. Well, let's go with the PowerShell. Open up the PowerShell. We are gonna do run as administrator. And what you need to do in the new machine, okay, there is a command that you need to do to be able to open our connection. So I'll give you the command that you need, but it is I'll just show you in here as well in case I forget. So this is the command that I'm running. Okay, netsh adv firewall add rule name ICMP allow incoming v4 echo request protocol ICMP v4 any dir in direction in and action allow. So also make the font a little bit bigger, so if you are copying from here you know exactly what command I'm running inside the virtual machine to allow the ICMP traffic. Otherwise you do try to do ping and the ping wouldn't work. Alright, so let's hit enter here, and you see okay, so that means the new VM that we have created, if I do host, okay, let's see, this just do host name. So you see this is the manufacturing VM, that is the host that we have created. So if I do IP config, it's got 10.30.10.4 IP. Okay, so let's come back to the other VM and let's get to a command prompt from here as well. So cmd, and let's open yeah, command prompt in this one good because I don't need to do anything crazy, or just let's just stick to our what do you do? By mistake I closed that one. Let me just reopen that machine real quick. All right, I'm in here. So let's just stick to PowerShell. PowerShell is also is just fine. Okay, so let's just open it, run as administrator. Okay, so we are here within the PowerShell window. So let's IP config here. So this is telling me it's in a completely different network, right? This is a 1030, this is 1020. So what is going to happen if you try to ping from this network to the other one, which is 10.30.10.4, it's not going to work. The reason being, your virtual network creates a security boundary, and right now they are not peered. Similarly, from here, if I try to do ping and try 10.20.20.4, if I try that, it's also not going to work. Okay, so let's go back to the lab. Okay, so for the lab, so this is what we tried. We tried to connect to the test VMs using RDP, and it didn't work. Okay, uh, so the way they really tried, they also used a PowerShell command, which you can also use, test net connection, and then from here, uh, you can also run this command, as I said. So let's just do test. I think you can copy paste the command. Let's see. Copy, come over here and edit, then paste. It didn't work. Okay, so just type the command test net connection. So test net, try to do a tab, didn't take that command, and it's there we go. Test net connection, and let's pick up the rest, and in the IP address 10.20.24, they're actually not even using ping, they're just trying to use the port to do the scan, because I know that this port is also open. So 10.20.24, 10.20.20.4, and then port, which port checking the connection is 3389, that is the RDP port, and hit enter. Okay, so it's trying to attempt, but it is not going to be able to connect this to this one, because this virtual network is not connected to this one. You can also do the same thing from here as well. Okay, so what did it say? So come back over here. So on the manufacturing VM, open up also. So this is a manufacturing VM. And what we will do, use the following command, verify there is no connection to test VM. So we'll do the same thing, test, then net connection. Okay, then we'll do 10.20.20.4. No, this should come from the test VM1. Let me make sure that I'm in the right host name. Up, host name. Oh, yeah, host name is test VM1, and here I need to go to 10.30.04. So let me go back to the command. So what we was trying to do, so you see this is, it said true because I myself was trying to go to my own IP address, so it's always be allowed, right? So let's fix that. So this should be 10.30. This is the address that we are trying to go, and hit enter. Enter. It is working. Yeah, so now it's trying to attempt, but when from 10.20.24 you're trying to go to the 10.30.10.0, it should not work. And same thing over here. So for port 3389, even from here, if you try to connect to this, it's gonna fail. And the reason for the failure is, okay, there is no peering, so it says false, right? And you will get the same thing over here as well. It's gonna say no, it's false, connection timed out, you cannot connect. That is what I'm expecting. So yeah, so it's already started saying that it's failed. So let's just go back in here. So we have validated. So now You can have those two VNets in two different regions, but you need something called the peering to be able to talk to each other. Okay, so to do that, you have to go to the peering section. Okay, so let's just go to the core services VNet. So before we do that, I want to go back to this one again, go back to the network watcher and look at the topology one more time to make sure that you understand what we are doing. So again, so what we have done now, okay, so now we have this VM right now, which is in this particular virtual network VNet, okay, and under this subnet. But this VNet is not peered to the core services VNet, where I have the VM1 deployed. So this VM1, if it has to go through, it will, this is the NIC card, it has to go through your, somehow be able to connect to this one, but I don't have any routing, nothing, there is no path. So in this next step, what we'll do, we'll create the path by peering, peering this and this network together, virtual network together. Now to be able to peer, your address space in these two VNets must be different, okay, for obvious reasons, right? So let's see. Over here, what we are gonna do then, we're gonna go and let's go to the core services VNet. So just go back, just call virtual networks and to the core services VNet. And if you go down, here is your peering, go to the peering, and there is nothing defined right now. Okay, on the peering, what we'll do, we're gonna say add, so that is gonna give us a peering, and let's follow this. So option, uh, this virtual network, okay, peering link name, we're gonna say this is from core services VNet to the manufacturing VNet. Traffic to remote network, let's do the allow. Traffic forward from the remote network, also allow. Virtual network gateway, we have not configured anything, so say none. On the remote, we just reverse the name. So it's gonna say the name first. It's gonna say manufacturing VNet. So you're when you're creating this peering, you have to create both ways. Okay, you can create only one, but it makes sense to create a both way connectivity, right? So manufacturing VNet to the core services, virtual network deployed model resource manager is fine. Uh, I know the resource ID, don't need to select that one. Azure network and virtual network is going to be manufacturing VNet. Okay, so let's see, remote virtual network is the manufacturing VNet. So let's go back over here again. So this virtual network is the core services. So this is a core services VNet. You are linking to the manufacturing, and from the reverse one, you are calling the reverse one, which is the manufacturing VNet, to peer back to the core services, and everything else is okay to keep it as the default. And then hit add. Okay. So what just happened? You see there are two different things got added. So in this under core services VNet, now you have a peering that is core services to the manufacturing VNet. So if you go back to the manufacturing VNet, go under the peering, you should see the other way. So manufacturing to the core services. Now you should wait for the status to like enabled or okay, something like that. Right now the peering is getting configured. Okay. So now because I have the peering, if I go back to the virtual machines, okay, and if I try this, the same thing that did here, uh, let's just come here. Let's see if I can, yeah. So now if I do this, okay, now this peering and the network, it takes a little bit of time, okay, so to get in effect. So right now it's still trying to go there, it's not there, and most likely because your status is still updating. So give it a little bit of time. Now this one, say, you see connected. So once this is connected, okay, you can also try your ping test. It's still not there. So I'm gonna do it few more times, and you will see that after in a little bit your connection will start working. I'll do the same thing. I'll go to the other network, virtual networks, and then core services, validate. This also says that it's all connected. It is connected. So now I should have connectivity. So let me go to this machine. So from here, what I'll do first, I'm gonna do again, I'll come back here, I'll say ping, just do IP config one more time. Okay, so 10.20.24, and I'm gonna try to ping this 10.20.20.4, and look at that. So now I have connectivity. So since my peering is working, I can talk to that machine. So from here, if I do, looks like I have to type test, then net connection, test net net connection, then 10.20.24, then port, and 3389. This one should also be good now because my peering is working. Okay. Same thing do here one more time, IP config real quick. This one is 10.30.10.4. So come back over here. First do a ping test from here. 10.30.10.4. So now again I have ping, or peering is working. So you should be getting back your ping responses. And again, if you do test connection, and then 10.30, then 10.4 on port 3389, hit enter. What did I do wrong here? Then test net connection, sorry, test net connection. I gotta provide the net connection and hit enter. Now look at that. So it's telling you now from this machine you can directly RDP to this machine using the private IP address. Okay, before we end this lab, okay, so now it's saying I clean up all the resources. Before we end this lab, let's go back and review our network setting one last time. I'm gonna go to the topology, select the resource group that we are working with, okay, and make this one a little bit bigger. So now look at what happened. Okay, now you see this line, those are the connection that was not there before. Okay, so what happens, since we have the peering, and the peering is both ways, so you can go it this way, and from VNet you can also come back to this one. So when we started, we didn't have the peering. We deployed this particular virtual machine, and we were trying to go from this virtual machine to the other virtual machine on the V1, and it didn't work because of no peering. Now since we have peering, I can go, this is the subnet, it will go to the VNet will automatically have connection, it will go there using that peered path, peered link. From here it can go to the database subnet, from here it can come to the test VM1. Okay, that's the beauty of peering. And all the peering that we have done, this peering called the global peering, because these two virtual networks, they are deployed in completely two different regions. Okay, if they're in the same region, it will be just local peering, or regional peering maybe, but the process is exactly the same. So you don't have to worry about what kind of peering it is, whether it's global or local, because the process of the peering is exactly the same the way we have done. All right, so